The micro-team disruption, how AI-native startups are breaking the venture scaling playbook. The old approach just got more expensive. The practical edge now comes from changing process, timing, and tooling together. We will map trigger, incentive shift, and downstream impact before the close. A new cohort of AI-native startups is doing it with 8 to 15 people. Not in 5 years. Not someday. Right now, in 2026. Last week, 3 European companies updated their investors with numbers that should reshape how every VC thinks about capital efficiency. A UK fintech with 12 employees, £38 million ARR. A German HR tech company with 8 people, €42 million ARR. A Dutch compliance platform with 15 employees, €55 million ARR, gross margins between 87 and 91%. This isn't outlier performance anymore, it's becoming the leading edge of how software gets built. Here's what changed: instead of hiring 40 to 80 person departments for customer success, sales operations, content, and support, these micro-teams replaced them with AI agent systems orchestrated by 2 or 3 humans. One AI agent now handles 94 to 97% of customer interactions with higher satisfaction scores than human staff competitors used to get. The efficiency gap is staggering. The median headcount to RR ratio for AI-native startups is now $6.2 million per employee. For traditional SaaS, it's still $330,000 per employee. That's an 18.7 times efficiency gap that compounds every single quarter. But here's what matters most: the venture playbook is completely different now. The old model was raise $20 million Series A, hire 60 to 80 people, burn $4 to $7 million per quarter, hit $10 million ARR at 35 to 40% net burn, then raise $50 million Series B to scale harder. The new model, raise $3 to $8 million seed, 75% of it allocated to compute, not salaries. Keep your core team at 6 to 12 people through $25 million ARR, burn $400,000 to $900,000 per quarter. Hit $10 million ARR at 8 to 12% net burn. Raise strategic Series A at $15 to $25 million for market expansion, not headcount. Andreessen Horowitz's internal models now show AI-native B2B companies reaching profitability 18 to 24 months faster than traditional SaaS at the same revenue milestone. The capital efficiency gap is not incremental. It's structural. This cascades across entire markets. Start with commercial real estate. If the median startup needs 85% fewer employees, the 2027 to 2028 lease renewal cycle is about to crater second-tier office markets. San Francisco sublease availability just hit 31%, the highest since the end of 2020. Austin, Denver, Seattle, those cities are 12 to 18 months behind understanding what's coming. The startups that signed 5 to 7-year leases in 2021 and 2023 for teams that will never materialize are about to feel that pain. HR tech gets disrupted next. If you're not hiring SDRs, customer success managers, or junior content writers, you don't need applicant tracking systems, performance management tools, or learning management platforms. Greenhouse, the leader in recruiting software, saw a 23% year-over-year decline in seats sold to companies under 100 employees in the first quarter of 2026. They're pivoting to AI workforce orchestration, but they're playing catch-up. The labor market bifurcates into 2 tiers. Tier 1, AI orchestrators, prompt engineers, system architects, domain experts who train and audit agents. These roles command 40 to 80% higher compensation than 2024 levels. Tier 2, the task executors, SDRs, level 1 support, junior analysts, content writers, effectively vanishes. The middle collapses. The junior roles that used to be stepping stones into tech no longer exist. This creates a brutal skills gap. How do you train Tier 1 talent without Tier 2 entry points? Watch the regulatory response. France and Germany are likely to mandate minimum human staffing ratios for companies above certain revenue thresholds by 2027 or 2028. The UK, more business-friendly, post-Brexit. becomes the natural home for micro-teams, which explains why 40% of AI-native startups hitting this pattern are UK incorporated even though their founders are globally distributed. VC portfolio strategy is rebalancing too. Sequoia's Don Valentine said, "Back big markets with great teams for 40 years. That formula is breaking. Top-tier VCs are now making smaller initial bets, $2 to $5 million instead of $8 to $15 million, but with faster follow-on triggers at $5 million ARR instead of waiting for $10 million. Benchmark disclosed in a limited partner letter that their 2025 to 2026 seed checks averaged $3.2 million versus $8.7 million for 2022 to 2023. That's a 63% reduction. But follow-on deployment speed doubled. Fewer dollars in at seed means lower post-money valuations, but Series A valuations for capital-efficient AI-native companies are actually rising because scarcity is real. 3 failure modes kill micro-teams before they escape. 1. Hallucination liability. One AI agent sending 3,000 incorrect invoices or compliance notices destroys a startup overnight. 2. Compute cost spiral. Margins of 87 to 91% assume inference costs stay flat. If your AI architecture isn't optimized and token costs spike 30 to 40%, margins compress to unprofitable territory in weeks. 3. Failure to graduate complexity. The systems that work at $5 million ARR break at $25 million ARR when edge cases explode. Startups that don't invest in AI infrastructure early enough hit a complexity wall. Watch 3 signals in the next 90 days. August 2026, Stripe's earnings call should show payment volume growth decoupling from employee additions at their fastest-growing customers, the first infrastructure signal of this trend. September 2026, Y Combinator's Winter Batch Demo Day will pitch 40 to 50% of startups as X as a service with less than 10-person teams as core differentiation. October 2026, the first major lawsuit alleging AI agent employment discrimination, likely in the UK or EU, when someone claims an AI-driven decision violated equality law and there was no human in the loop to appeal to. The micro-team disruption isn't about technology replacing humans. It's about capital efficiency rewriting what venture scale actually means. In 24 months, saying, "We need to hire 50 people to hit our growth targets" will signal poor strategy, not ambition. The startups building $100 million ARR with 20 to 40 employees aren't edge cases anymore. They're the new normal. VCs, employees, landlords, HR tech vendors, and policymakers have 12 to 18 months to adapt before the math becomes undeniable and the disruption unavoidable. This is worth paying close attention to.